What's going on, guys? Fellas?
Another day.
How we doing?
Another hot day.
Yeah, dude, it's fucking scorching out there.
Love the bucket.
Episode 103, thank you. July 14th. We have an interesting card coming up this week, but in the spirit of International Fight Week being over, I kind of want to talk about how July is really, really good so far. So we had a fight night last week that Rafael Alves won the main event. We had a couple fights in that card that was really good. UFC 276 was 2 weeks ago now, or almost 2 weeks ago now, and we have UFC 277 at the end of the week. We also have this fight night coming up this week with Ortega and Yayir Rodriguez, which is going to be a barn burner.
El Pantera.
And we have Fight Night London 2 in a week and a half time. So this month, 5 cards. I would argue that Dos Anjos Fiziev looks to be the least promising, and that was a really good card. So, happy July for everybody.
Happy July.
It's been pretty fun. Austin, how you doing today?
Great.
Yeah, put any bets in? So yeah.
No.
Word.
Nothing.
You were.
All right, let's get right into it.
Okay.
What were you going to say?
Well, I was gonna say you seemed like you were about to say something when we were about to start, and you said I'll wait until we start. So.
All right. Yayir or Brian Ortega? What we got? Because I got Yayir.
Yeah, I think Brian Ortega submits him.
Submission.
I think Ortega wins by decision. I think it's gonna be a crazy fight, dude. I think Ortega doesn't get him to the ground as much as we think he will. I honestly, if this fight gets finished, I would expect Rodriguez to knock him out more than I'd expect Ortega to sub him. I know a lot of people are looking for the sub because Ortega has such an advantage on the ground.
Yeah.
But Ortega doesn't necessarily go to the ground that much. He likes to stand and bang.
Mm.
So
Could
I think
get
that we're going
caught.
to see.
Could get caught real early.
Yeah, he could. And Ortega's really, really good off his back, too, which could present some problems. Who do you have Rodriguez? Do you have it by knockout?
Yeah, if anything, knockout. I don't know what round.
It's a 5-round fight. Rodriguez, let's see. Who was Rodriguez's last fight?
Holloway loss.
Right.
Round
Yep.
decision.
And before that, he had 2 fights with Jeremy Stevens. So Yayir Rodriguez has only had like 1 fight in the last 2 years, I'm pretty sure.
Fair to say.
And, you know, he actually took Holloway to his limit. Like, besides Volkanovski just
I
beating
think so.
him.
Well, no, actually, Holloway kind of tuned him up.
Yeah, but it was a 5-round fight in which Holloway didn't dominate by any means. And,
Couldn't put him away. Holloway couldn't put him away.
Right. And we've seen that pattern with, like, he did the same thing with Ortega and Qatar and Rodriguez, where he goes 5 rounds and he dominates. But Rodriguez was the closest fight of those by far. Rodriguez is the best stand-up fighter that Max has fought in a while. And the reach advantage, I'm pretty sure, is significant on Rodriguez's side. Three inches for Rodriguez reach advantage, which isn't much, isn't crazy. We tend to overhype reach advantages, which I think is not great. I think we tend to do that a lot. Unless you start to see like 5, 6, 7 inch reach advantage, anything upwards of that, that's when a reach really takes advantage.
Before that, you know, it really depends on the person's style. If they're able to actually get inside, like a Volkanovski.
Right.
You know.
Well, we talked about Volkanovski last week. Volkanovski's 5'6", but his reach is 6 foot, which is pretty
That's actually
crazy.
pretty crazy.
You know, like
A bunch of people don't expect it.
We were talking about it last week because there's so much talk about Volkanovski going up to lightweight, and people are like, you know, he's 5'6", Oliveira's 5'11", Poirier's 5'10", Makhachev 5'11", but when you look at their reach comparison, Volkanovski's within 1 inch or a higher reach than all those guys. So, reach is definitely reach is a statistic to look at, but unless there's a huge advantage, I don't think it plays that much into their game. Unless you have someone with the striking prowess of Volkanovski, or like an Adesanya, who tends to have a reach advantage.
Do you put them? He recently became pound for pound.
He's not number 1 yet.
Volkanovski?
Nope, he's still number 2.
Volkanovski became pound for pound today.
Really?
Yeah, look that one up.
Is that right?
Yeah. Right? Does he deserve it? Does he deserve it?
Zach
Or
said
is
that he should've
Usman?
been
Is
before.
No. I've been saying that it's been Usman.
Honestly, I think Did you read?
No, Usman's still number one.
Really?
At least according to UFC.com.
Okay. Where's Volkanovski, 2?
Volkanovski's 2. Volkanovski's been 2 for a minute now. Like, it's been Usman, Volkanovski at least since the beginning of the year, probably earlier than that.
I guess that would be kind of weird to take Usman off the pound for pound right before his fight against Edwards. That'd be weird.
Yeah, it would. I think that if Volkanovski and Oliveira do fight, the winner of that fight should become pound for pound number 1. Especially if it's Volkanovski. If Oliveira wins, I can see Usman staying number 1, Oliveira number 2. But if Volkanovski can beat Oliveira at lightweight, he would be number 1 pound for pound.
I don't know if he's going to do that just yet. I mean, he's got a couple more.
I think that's Volk's next fight. We were talking about that last week. I mean, it's the fight that Dana wants to plug. It's the one that obviously...
Well, no. Charles got other fight. Charles wants Conor, obviously. Do you
yeah,
not want to give...
everybody wants Conor.
I would give it to Charles, though.
Nah. First of all, does McGregor want Charles?
Well, I guess,
That's the big question.
Well, dude, technically, Charles is not the champ right now. So
No,
I guess a Conor McGregor fight would be, this is the
It
time
would be
to
for
do
the
it.
title. So, okay,
No,
that's
this
an
is
interesting
the time
point.
to do it. This wouldn't be for the title.
Yeah, it would be. And Oliveira's next
Yeah,
fight's
in
for the
our
title.
mind.
No. Oliveira's next fight is for the title, no matter who he fights.
I guess.
Yeah, it has to be. I mean, he won the fight that he won the fight.
Yeah. And I mean, Oliveira is obviously the best 155er. For me, it's Oliveira and then Makhachev. You know, you have Beneil Dariush, who is likely to get the next fight against Makhachev.
Overrated.
I believe that he's overrated too. But Makhachev versus Dariush is stylistically a good matchup because Dariush may be the best wrestler in that division. You know, you got Poirier and Oliveira. Obviously, both have strong wrestling. But I would argue that Dariush not only has great wrestling, but he's also fucking heavy when he walks in. Like, he's coming in Khabib weight for lightweight.
Yeah.
He's weighing in at 155, walking in the octagon at 180.
Yeah.
So I think that really helps his wrestling. But
Did you watch Gamro versus Sarukian?
I watched a little bit of it.
It's a good fight.
It was a good fight, but Gamrot shouldn't have won. Sarukian definitely should have taken that decision.
Just by sheer volume.
Yeah.
But very interesting.
Well, Sarukian also had a knockdown in like
rankings.
the 4th, I think.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't really remember it, but it was very interesting for the rankings. Because
Mhm.
they both showed they're killers. They can be up
Yeah,
there.
they are. And they're both like 26 or younger. The lightweight is full of prospects right now.
What's
which I
Gamrot
love.
now? 7?
Gamrot just got moved to 8. Fiziev got bumped up to 7. Or no, Gamrot stayed at 8. Fiziev went up to 7. Dos Anjos went to 9, I think.
Gosh, what
I
a
think that's what it
knockout by
was.
Fiziev.
Yeah, killed it in the 5th round. I can't believe that he put him away. I figured that was going to go the distance.
Did we watch that?
No, I was at
Oh,
your
you
house for
did,
that, but I
yeah.
left before that fight. Because I just needed Nurmagomedov and Barayo. Bahalio? I forget how they were pronouncing his name.
Yeah, he was tired going into the 4th. Fiziev.
Mm-hmm.
Something to look at.
Really?
Dos Anjos was looking good, but he got caught.
Really? Like Dos Anjos was winning championship rounds?
It looked like he was, getting into the fight quicker,
Mhm.
It wasn't cold. Like, Fiziev was, like, huffing, like,
No shit.
kind of sitting back.
That's definitely something to look at, because that was Fiziev's... I think that was his first 5-round fight.
It was, yeah.
Dos Anjos obviously has been in multiple. And Dos Anjos is older, too. Like, Fiziev's 29. He should be able to go 5 rounds, you would think, with a full camp that he had.
Thing is, I think he's packing on the pounds.
Yeah,
kinda.
he's a big boy, too.
He's like he's kind of a smaller boy, but like packing on the pounds, that muscle.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I don't know if that's good for.
Well, I really like Fiziev. I've liked Fiziev for a while now. His fight a year ago against Brad Riddell really showed me something. Because he was able to knock out Brad Riddell, I want to say, by a spinning back kick in the 1st round. I was like, oh, this dude's fucking for real. So, Fiziev, number 7 in the lightweight rankings. Chandler got bumped up over Dariush, I want to say today.
Good.
Which was surprising to me. Or Wednesday, whenever the rankings get shuffled. Yeah, so Chandler's 5 now, Dariush is 6, Fiziev 7. Dos Anjos 8, Gamrot 9, Sarukian 10. And then you got Tony and then Conor. Who is Conor's next fight? Like, does Conor ever even fight again?
Tony.
Chandler?
Tony to be a big
Chandler's
fight.
a good fight.
No.
Well, you know it has to be. It has to be a money fight, right? Like
It has
Tony.
to be a tune-up for Conor.
No, I don't think it does
Yes, it
because this could be
does. He's
Conor's
coming off
last
a
fight.
loss.
And here's the other thing: is it even at lightweight?
Yes.
Because he's big again.
No.
So is it at welterweight now?
Why would he go to welterweight?
Maybe to fight Nate Diaz for the trilogy. Like, that's the fight everybody wants. That's the fight that would sell the most.
I don't know what Nate Diaz is doing right now. He's not.
I'm sure they would both be fine with it. I just don't think that Dana White wants to pay them what they want to get paid, and that's why
they
this
would
fight's
want-
never gone through.
They would want billions.
I
It
don't
would
know
be the
about
biggest. Dude. All right.
Billions might be pushing it a little bit.
Nate Diaz versus Conor McGregor 3.
Yep.
Or, I'm just going to say, Conor McGregor versus Khabib, like the pay-per-view sells. Or, what was the biggest? Is that the biggest?
Yeah, it was
That's the
Conor.
biggest.
For UFC, it was Conor versus Khabib. They sold 2.4 million buys.
Bro, Conor McGregor versus Nate Diaz 3 would be
It would not. It would not.
easily.
No. You
Yes,
don't
it
understand.
would.
Because that was the peak of Conor's power. That's when everybody was watching UFC.
No.
Yes.
There's so many more people
Yes.
watching UFC.
No. You don't understand.
Um,
Like UFC 276, just to give you the numbers. I don't have the exact number, right? But I'm going to guess that it did like 700,000 buys compared to 2.4 million by Conor versus Khabib.
Bro, Conor versus Nate Diaz 3. I mean,
I would say it would
tell me
sell
not
like
they are.
1.5 million buys. Like, it's going to
No.
get above a
It
million.
would be two something.
Depends on how much they market it. Depends on the undercard.
They're 1-1, buddy.
276 reportedly drew $400,000 pay-per-view buys. So, Conor Khabib did 6 times that. That was at a different time of the sport. That's when UFC was red hot. That's when Conor was on his trajectory. That's when Khabib was obviously still fighting. So like he was the best guy.
Yeah.
And there was so much shit talk. Like Conor got arrested before the shit for throwing the dolly.
Shit talk with this.
Yeah, there would be, and I'm sure the build would help, but it's not set. What do you think? Do you think that it would get anywhere close?
What?
We're talking about the pay-per-view buys. Would Conor versus Nate 3 get anywhere close to Conor versus Khabib?
No.
Why? Why? No one had even heard of Khabib before.
Because just the hype to Khabib, dude, the fucking dolly to the bus. Like,
Right.
everyone forgets about that. The hype.
This is when
freaking
Conor was
press.
at his prime. This is when
The
Conor was
press,
all
dude,
over
the
Twitter.
press was insane.
I
Like,
think the press would be insane with this.
I wouldn't be the same. As a fan, like, looking in, like, I'm just like, alright, it's just another fight, dude. Like, Conor's gonna win. Like,
There's not many people that can get under Conor's skin and really sell a fucking fight. Nate Diaz could.
I don't even
I think Michael
that.
Chandler can sell it better than Nate Diaz.
No way.
Yeah, well, I don't think Michael Chandler could sell it better, but I think that
Well, he doesn't have as more draws, but I think the fight's better. I think
the fight's better. Yeah,
I think it's
for
the same
sure.
amount as pay-per-views as Nate Diaz.
It's a trilogy.
Yeah, so was Volkanovski Holloway. Look at that one.
Well, that was different.
That
Holloway
is
was
different.
0-2.
Right, Nate Diaz has a win over Conor, and I think that obviously
Well,
Conor's
do you
going to be
see
the
anybody
favorite.
He has
pumping
some-
their fists, getting ready for this fight, dude?
Getting ready for which fight? Like
Getting
the Conor.
pumped. They're like, oh, we need to see this trilogy now. No one's.
I
But
think
it's
that it's.
weird.
I don't
Why?
think that anyone's pumping their fists over it, but I think it's a fight that a lot of people want to see.
Conor don't want that fight.
Conor, it was his first loss when he was in his prime. Conor's prime. Nate Diaz gave him that loss.
Yep.
First
Yeah.
one.
Well,
He
there was
came back,
also
he
Diaz also
redeemed
lost
it.
to Leon Edwards, and he hasn't fought at 155 in how many years?
no. That fight would be
Well,
at 170.
yeah, Conor could go up.
Yeah, I would say Conor and Nate would be at 170 now. Because Conor's at like
I'm not really
185
interested in that
right
fight.
now.
I'm only interested
Yeah,
because
'cause
Conor's
nobody's-
fighting. I don't even really care if it's a trilogy or not.
I wouldn't, yeah, because nobody's going into the rankings after that fight. Nobody's getting like.
Nobody cares, dude.
At
It's
that
like it's
weight?
like
Well,
it's
it's a
like,
muddy fight for sure.
It's like Conor McGregor fighting Donald Cerrone. It's the same thing.
I would say it's a little
same
bit better than that.
It's a
Yeah, it
little-
is.
It's the same thing.
No, it's definitely better than that. It's much bigger of a draw. It's a trilogy. The shit talking would make it so much more hyped up.
It wouldn't matter to me.
The amount of stake that Conor would have to put up It would be cool
Stake. He loses nothing. He's the 10th
if he
ranked.
loses to Nate Diaz.
You don't give a fuck.
It's a
bro.
decent point.
That's a lot of. If Conor were
And
to
that's one of the
agree to
reasons.
it,
That's one of the reasons that the UFC doesn't want to book that fight either. Because if Conor does lose to Nate Diaz, Conor is almost.
crashes.
He's not unsellable by any means. Because of course Conor's going to sell
But
no matter what he
in
does.
the book, in the history books, Conor crashes.
I don't think it has anything to do with history books. I think it's just if Conor loses
The
to
first
Nate,
double champ.
his
that don't lose
next fight will just not sell. Like it fucking won't. And if he loses to Nate, now there's no way in hell you could ever book him against a top 5 guy. Unless there was some beef between it.
Nate Diaz ain't going to the ground.
Yeah.
I think Nate
Yeah,
Diaz could
yeah.
beat Conor standing though.
No.
You don't
Now
think
we're
so?
now we're just talking silly.
I do. I think that
I'm
would
not
be
talking
an even
silly. I
fight
agree
now.
with you. Dude,
Well,
no.
Conor's definitely lost a step standing. Like Poirier was able to outbox Conor. And I mean, I don't think Nate Diaz is on that level, but I think Nate Diaz is tough as shit. And I think he'd be able to land one on Conor.
You know, and no one's giving Conor respect anymore. It's disappointing. It's so disappointing.
That's fair.
No
That
one
is
is giving
totally
him
fair.
respect.
I mean, he's gotten
How many times How many times has Conor McGregor been knocked out?
in his career.
Never.
No, he got knocked out by Poirier.
TKO.
Poirier.
TKO.
He
He's never gotten
Well,
knocked out.
Yeah, he got knocked
He
out
got
by
fucking-
Poirier in
got
their
knocked out.
first fight that happened last year.
He got TKO'd. He didn't get cleanly knocked out.
Okay, sure, that's fair. He's
He's
never been
never
knocked
been
out
knocked
cold. No. You don't see
Who's taking him down to the ground?
Poirier, Khabib, Nate.
Nate Diaz didn't take him down to the ground. He got hurt and then he got on his back.
Okay.
And Conor got gassed. So, like, no one's giving this dude respect. Conor McGregor's winning that fight, dude. Conor, you don't even want to fight Nate. It makes no sense.
I
Why the
agree with
fuck
you
would
that
you
he
It
wanna-
does
wouldn't
make
either.
sense. You can't say
It
it,
makes
doesn't
zero
make sense, but I
sense,
can
dude,
see
for him to
why.
fight Nate.
Because
No, I think
Zero
it makes
sense.
sense. It's
The
just
only
Conor
reason-
has better opportunities out there, so he wouldn't take that.
Makes zero sense.
I don't think so.
Only
you gotta
reason why
think of-
people want to see the fight is because it's a trilogy.
Right.
Other than that, no one gives a shit.
You got to think of what
That's- I
else
know.
would they do with Conor.
And it's not
like
even-
the Conor Chandler fight is obviously.
Let's
up
just
there.
say it this way: they're both on their way out. Nate, obviously. Conor, I'm gonna say it right now, on his way out.
What do you mean? He hasn't.
He's gonna be done.
No
with
shit, he's
fucking
on his
UFC.
way out. He hasn't fought.
He's gonna
in
be done with
fucking-
the
he
UFC
hasn't-
soon. Like he's gonna move on to something else.
Right.
Like no shit, he's on his way out. The dude hasn't fought in the UFC in like.
So I'm
So
I'm
this
thinking
fight
from Conor's
wouldn't mean
perspective.
anything.
2017, dude.
I'm thinking of Conor's perspective, right? Like you know, if you're Conor, you're gonna get paid a mil, and then if it's like a ridiculously hyped fight, you're gonna get paid up to like 10 mil. You're gonna get paid a mil, but you're gonna get paid 5 mil, 6 mil off everything else. But from the UFC, you're gonna get paid $1 million.
Conor McGregor's getting paid way more than $1 million to fight.
He got paid $2 million against Poirier for the third fight.
Yeah, but that's not counting.
That's what I'm saying. Like he's gonna get paid $1 million from UFC, and then
He
he's
got
gonna make
paid a
5 to
lot.
6 to 10 mil. But like from
It's gonna
a
be a
huge
He
fight,
gets a lot of sponsors.
I don't think it's gonna be 100 mil a fight or something like that.
no,
if
it's
that's
not
what
gonna
you're
be.
saying.
It's not even gonna be close to that. That's Floyd versus Conor numbers that will never be repeated. And that's boxing too. That's not even UFC. But like, if you're Conor, you want to go out on a win. I would think you want to at least his next fight. He's thinking to himself he needs to win, and he's still competitive. He still wants to fight the best in the world.
All right, I don't want to
But,
talk
like-
about Conor anymore. I want to talk about Nate. Who would be Nate's last fight?
I don't know.
Cares.
I know, but like,
No, like I care.
All right,
like,
so
I
he's a
care. Like Nate
gatekeeper,
Diaz
right?
is one of the.
who would you like to see get a win over Nate Diaz?
Is it about that though, or are you trying to find a good fight, or are you trying to find a fight that Nate Diaz would win?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I
Like
don't see
Nate
it.
Diaz
I
is
don't
looking for money fights. Obviously, his last fight was against the number 3 ranked guy in the world. So I mean, he's
I don't
trying to
see
get.
him winning against the top 10. Anybody in the top 10.
We talking strictly welterweight here? It would have to be
Welter.
welterweight,
Yeah,
right?
welter.
Bilal Muhammad.
Little
I would be interested in a Bilal Muhammad Nate Diaz. No, I wouldn't.
No,
No, I wouldn't.
You wouldn't.
No, I wouldn't. I don't know. Who's
He's
the
not
No one
gonna-
welterweight
cares.
top
No
No
one
one
cares.
cares. Unfortunately, it's a terrible place for Nate Diaz, but dude.
Right, he's been out of the spotlight way too long. If we were talking 2 years ago and he had stayed even a little bit active, we'd be more into it. But he's fought one time in the last 6 years. So, like...
Can't fight Jorge again.
No. Actually, that wouldn't be bad.
Where's Jorge going? Jorge's
going to fight Gilbert Burns.
Oh, that's cool.
Jorge's fight, it hasn't been scheduled yet, but Jorge versus Burns is all but set, basically. I think Jorge just needs to finish up with his court battles for Sucker Punch and Colby. Yeah, Jorge's lost like 3 in a row.
Jorge's also going to lose against Gilbert Burns.
Yeah, he is.
I don't care.
Gilbert Burns was close to beating Kamayev. You think he's not going to beat Jorge? Nate Diaz should
Pull up the top
face...
10.
I have the top 10 right here.
Who's it?
The top 10... You got like Stephen Thompson. Wouldn't be a bad matchup.
Stephen Thompson's still ranked?
Yeah, he's number 9. Oh, I'm sorry. No, he's number 7 contender.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but that's not a draw.
When was the last time he fought?
The last time he fought was against Vicente Luque. No, excuse me. It was against Bilal Muhammad. And that was probably like 6 months ago.
Oh, wow.
No, it was at the end of last year, so like 7-8 months ago. He's more into like his exercise videos now. You ever seen those with his blue spandex doing the fucking synchronized dancing exercises?
No.
You gotta look that up. It's fucking hilarious. Anyway, coming up this week, Brian Ortega versus Yayir Rodriguez. We already kind of said it. We're 2-1 Ortega. You like Yayir, we like Ortega.
Look at Yayir's chances, man.
I think that it's going to be a really close fight either way. I think it's going to be super entertaining. The simple fact that Volkanovski is head and shoulders the best 145 in the world makes this fight a little overshadowed, which sucks because these are two tremendous athletes with two dynamic skill sets. Like, they're both the best in the world at their division at one thing. Like, Yayir Rodriguez is the best kicker in the featherweight division. Ortega's arguably the best jiu-jitsu artist in 145. But Volkanovski's like... It's ironic because he's shorter, but he's head and shoulders above them. It's not even fucking close.
Looks like a mushroom.
He's the alpha male. He's fucking ridiculous. He's so good. And he only started competing in MMA like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a good card this weekend. And then next week we got Fight Night London 2. Next week is one that we've been talking about for months now for the betting prospects. We've narrowed this down. We've been hammering it out. So I want to get your thoughts on it because we have talked this to death and we have the bets that we are going to hammer that we know is going to win. So I'm going to give you the card.
So Blades Aspinall.
Blades Aspinall. This has been we've talked about like the ones we want to bet.
First off, Aspinall. Yeah.
We're all in agreement that Aspinall will win. But I think it's a very close fight.
Dude.
I think it's a very close fight.
It's closer than people realize, but I think the amount of punches thrown favors Aspinall. His speed.
Dude, he's so quick.
I don't think Blades will be able to get him to the ground as easier as he thinks he will be able to. And yeah, I think volume of punches and significant strikes is going to favor Aspinall.
Now is that?
I think he gets double than what Blades gets because he's just so much faster.
How long do you think the fight goes? Another 5-round fight.
It could go to a decision. I think it could go.
I've been really questioning whether I want to take
Aspinall-
that decision or not.
I don't think Aspinall has power like most heavyweights do, but he has volume.
Yeah, late. If it goes late, Aspinall could get caught. I don't know if he's ever been in a 5-round.
No, he's the longest fight he's ever been in the UFC is like in the middle of the 3rd round. This is his first 5-round. Oh no, he had a 5-round fight with Volkov, but that was ended in the 1st round.
Oh.
So he's never been in championship rounds for sure.
Well, you know, Blades got power.
The pay-per-view's on the bookie, by the way.
I know.
So
Pay-per-views on the bookie.
Yeah, they have 3 weeks out. They've been doing this for a while.
Kai France at plus 170 is such a good bet.
Who?
Kai France against Brendan Moreno. Hammer it.
I'm not going to touch that fight. I've decided that I'm not going to.
Pavlovich versus Derek Lewis. Oh, yeah.
Oh, shit, that's right. What is it? Tell me. Oh, he's the underdog.
I know.
Okay. All right. No, we
I'm
like
taking-
Pavlovich
I like
Oh,
Pavlovich.
really?
over Derek Lewis.
Who is it?
Sergey
I don't know who that
Pavlovich,
is.
it's his 4th fight in the UFC. He's
Derek
3-0.
Lewis
Derek Lewis.
reached
You want
his
to talk about
peak.
on his way out of the UFC?
Derek Lewis had
on
reached his
fucking way
peak.
Yeah.
The
out. Amanda Nunes is
one
minus 310.
that he went to Houston and he lost that
That's
main
the
event.
Cyril
best
Gane.
you'll ever see Amanda Nunes ever.
Ain't
again.
Bro. All right. We're going to talk about London first, but we got to end this with the pay-per-view. So, I don't want to talk about the pay-per-view just yet because there's a number on here that I really fucking like. Okay, so you said Aspinall beats Blades. I agree with you. So, originally, Jack Hermanson was supposed to fight Darren Till.
Yeah, and it got canceled.
It didn't. Chris Curtis stepped in for Darren Till.
Yeah.
So, you got Jack Hermanson versus Chris Curtis. And is that on the bookie yet?
Don't see it.
It's not, which sucks. But Jack Hermanson's going to be in that. But I would not be surprised if Chris Curtis has a really good showing. I really like Chris Curtis. He's 3-0 in the UFC. His last 2 wins are by knockout. Only problem is he's on a 2-week notice against a top 7 middleweight. So I think it's going to be a really good fight, but Hermanson's going to be able to wrestle him and out cardio him.
Okay, this is a good one. I'm looking at this now. I remember looking at it.
Paddy Pimblett versus Jordan Leavitt.
No. Volkan Ozdemir versus Paul Craig.
Mm-hmm. Paul Craig all the way.
Underdog.
Paul Craig's going to armbar him in the first round.
Oh, Paul Craig is badass.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that.
And as soon as the methods come out, I'm betting Paul Craig by first round.
Is it
By
not?
submission.
Hold on.
It's
No,
not.
It's bookies.
They don't put the methods out until it's the week of that fight.
Dude, Anthony Smith is.
Yes, that's what we're going to talk about.
Smith
when we
versus
get to it.
Ankalaev.
But when we
I'm
get to
not
it, I
betting
still
on
want to talk
Honestly,
about.
this fight night's kind of stacked.
No, that's in the
Betting on
pay-per-view.
Oh, is it
Anthony Smith ain't winning.
Next up, we got Alexander Gustafson
Oh yeah,
coming back against Nikita Krylov. Nikita Krylov's going to win that fight.
You think?
I do. The last time Gustafson fought was the first time me and Austin bet. It was the first time I ever sports bet.
Me too.
Okay.
Big,
Wow.
big.
It was the fight card
We
that
won
was.
$900 in like 30 seconds, bro.
It was the fight card
Crazy.
that was Robert Whittaker versus Darren Till.
like that.
It's crazy.
And I remember it was Gustafson trying to move up to heavyweight to fight Fabricio Verdum. And Verdum was like plus 270. Gustafson was a huge favorite because he had been active, Verdum hadn't been, and he's moving up to heavyweight. People thought the world of Gustafson. And I was like, no, Verdum's going to fucking tap him. Like, it's not even going to be close. And he was like a flying armbar in the first round, and he got it. It was ridiculous. So that,
It's crazy. And we were saying he was going to submit him.
so that was Gustafson's last fight.
Was it really?
Yes.
That's crazy.
2 years ago. His last fight at light heavyweight was like 3.5 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah. And now he's fighting Nikita Krylov, who is overrated in my opinion, but he is top 10 ranked. And he's been fighting actively. He's fighting a guy like Gustafson.
I might have to pick Gustafson on this.
I'm going to take Gustafson?
Really might. And I'm not
Really?
going to touch him. Yeah, but I'm going to touch if I was to touch this fight, I'm going to pick the underdog, bro. I really am. I think that armbar was kind of lucky.
Well,
I
it is
think
and it
you-
isn't,
I
because
think we're-
Verdum is like the best. You got
No, I'm not
Verdum
saying-
and Frank Mir are the best
No,
jiu-jitsu
I'm not saying there
heavyweight
was no
artists.
skill. I'm saying it was lucky in retrospect because if he didn't, he was going to lose.
Gustafson's plus 160.
Dude, I really don't know how. I got a 10-teamer here, and I don't know how it loses.
All right, well, hold on, because I want to get through this card real quick, because there's a couple other fights. You mentioned the Paul Craig versus Volkan Ozdemir. We both got Paul Craig. Molly Meatball versus Hannah Goldie.
I don't know enough.
You don't know Molly McCann?
No, I know Meatball Molly. But
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Meatball, not Molly Meatball.
Wasn't that her first fight in the UFC the last time?
Second. Third? No. She's been in there for a while. It was like her second win in a row, though. Like, she's not by any means a top 15 fighter yet, but she had a spectacular knockout in her last fight.
I don't know.
Spectacular. I don't think so either. And I said this to Austin last week. Like, every single British fighter won in the first card. There's no way that's happening again. So if there is one English fighter I like to lose, it's probably Molly McCann. I'm not going to lie to you. Either that or Paul Craig. Because Pimblett's not losing. Aspinall probably won't lose.
Is Pimblett not losing? The thing that people forget about Paddy is that he's a fucking black belt. He is.
Yeah, but
that's
Paddy by
his
submission is...
shit.
probably going to be the bet to make.
That is the bet to make. I think he wins by rear naked
I think
choke.
Levitt is also like a wrestler or something. He's pretty good on the ground too. So
Jordan
Patty's
Levitt's
supposed
last
to be
2
really
wins are by
good, dude.
knockout.
really,
TKO.
Patty's finishes, he won most by rear naked choke in his last organization he came from.
Mm-hmm. This is his first like gatekeeper level fighter that he's faced in the UFC though. Like this is by far his best fighter he's ever faced in the UFC. I don't know about his
Probably
other
his career.
organizations. It might be. I don't know enough about the other people he's fought.
well, he
before
comes
the
from
UFC.
Cage Warriors.
Right.
Yeah.
And they have some skilled fighters. So I don't know the people that he's fought there, but I do know that Jordan Levitt is definitely the best fighter he's fought in the UFC.
I have to put $100 on this 10-teamer. I don't know how it loses. I don't know how.
How? Look, tell me, how does it lose? Which one? Which one are you looking at? Like, I don't know.
We'll get to it.
No, that's fine. You can do it.
I don't know.
So I got. Are you ready for this? You're not gonna like some of the picks, but you got a pretty good chance. Shane Burgos,
God, why?
Jack
Why?
Shore, Da Un Jung, Patty Pimblett, Tom Aspinall, Amanda Nunes, Sergey Pavlovich, Paul Craig, Kai Kara France. That shit smacks, dude. I'm telling you. Some underdogs mixed in, because you got to do that. And it's plus 27,000.
I'm just kind of
Plus
because
27,000.
I haven't really been able to look through the pay-per-view. I'm gonna just put the ones that I really like. A name I'm gonna talk about leading up to the pay-per-view is Alexander Pantoya. He's fighting Alex Perez, and I like Pantoya a lot. Nunes. I'm not touching Car France Moreno. I like Pavlovich. So I have a 7-teamer.
Misha Tate's gonna fucking.
I got a 9-teamer.
I left out a couple people.
Yeah, I took Kai Kara France out and Misha Tate out.
I took Jack Shore out.
I got Yayir Rodriguez, but then I got Lemos,
I don't like
Aspinall.
that bet.
Lemos?
No, he doesn't like Yayir.
Oh. Well, I got Aspinall, I got Paul Craig, I got Patty Pimblett, I got Ankalaev, I got Pantoya, I got Nunes, and I got Pavlovich.
Okay, now I got a 9-teamer. But it's plus 8,200.
I'm at 92.
Matt Schnell.
No, I'm not putting Matt Schnell on.
Matt Schnell.
I have Pavlovich as an underdog and Paul Craig as an underdog. Everyone else is a favorite.
Dude, Matt Schnell's gonna win.
I don't know. He's fighting Sumaterjai.
No, it's because, alright, so if we bet on him, he loses. If we don't bet on him, he wins. That's how I'm looking at it.
Sure. So, one of us should bet on Schnell, one of us should bet on Muterjai.
I'll bet. You bet on Schnell.
Right, yeah, of course.
That's your pick. And plus, you sent me a ticket with Matt Schnell on it, and then you're like, oh, I don't like that. And I was like, oh, well, that's the pick that you sent me.
Yeah. I like Matt Schnell for the number, and
How
because
about
we
Misha
just saw
Tate?
him and he looked good before he got tapped really
Misha
quickly.
Tate versus Lauren Murphy?
Dude, Misha Tate's gonna
Smoker.
smoke her, bro.
Throwing him on. That's my 10.
I'm against that pick, just saying.
Why?
I am all for Lauren Murphy.
Lauren Murphy looks slow as shit. She looks like mud on a hot summer day.
I heard she
Are you
got
just
some
judging
kind
that
of,
by
like,
her fight
disease.
against Shevchenko, though?
What? No.
Like her last fight was against Shevchenko.
No, I think she's just bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just don't think she's a good fighter. Like, she is a good fighter, but I think her limit has been reached.
Lauren Murphy by decisions plus 240. Love that.
So
Love that. Shane Burgos by decision
bad. I like that.
plus 200.
I like that. I love that.
Where's my marker?
Shane Burgos by decision.
You have beautiful handwriting.
Thank you. I do a lot of writing. So before we get into betting, because we're probably going to finish off the rest of the podcast with this, I'm going to take a quick commercial break, and I'm going to tell you guys about the number that I saw on the bookie that was fucking ridiculous. Go check out our Twitter at MMA_complete, or at complete_MMA. Jesus. Go follow our YouTube, go like and subscribe, and go follow
Boom,
Fans Only Sports on their many social medias. We'll be right back. It absolutely is a good
No,
point.
it's not a decent point. It's not a good point because Magomed Ankalaev is an animal. He's an animal.
I don't know.
Yeah, but he's also
Murphy,
a guy who
get
leans
that
on
off
his
there.
wrestling. These are my picks,
You
bro.
don't lean on his wrestling. You fucking knocked
Those are
out
yours?
Ion Cutelaba, bro.
These are my picks. Yeah, Cutelaba.
Yeah, Kutalava's pretty fucking.
Twice.
Yeah,
That's not his last fight, isn't
okay.
it? That's not his last fight.
No, he just
Twice.
beat Ozdemir, I think.
Santos? Thiago Santos. He's got to win over him.
No, I'm pretty sure. No, I think it was Ozdemir.
I don't think that was. You're thinking of a different fight.
It was Santos. He beat
It was
he beat Cutelaba, then Krylov, then Ozdemir, then Santos.
And we bet on.
Bro.
We bet on Ankalaev.
We bet on Ankalaev.
He beat Thiago Santos.
Everybody's beating Thiago Santos.
Come on.
Thiago Santos' only win in the last 3 years is Johnny Walker.
Yeah, but you gotta think Johnny Walker.
So
was
here's
up and
something
coming
else.
No, Johnny Walker was up and coming at the time, and he was knocking.
No,
people
he
left
wasn't.
and
This
right.
was after
Johnny
Johnny Walker.
Walker.
No, this was literally
Johnny
like 4
Walker
months
just.
ago.
Johnny
This was like
Walker's
4 months
reign
ago.
just got ended like 6 months ago.
No, it got ended 2 years ago.
Johnny Walker.
Yeah.
He just fought the other.
I don't even know if it's a rain, buddy.
Couple cards
It's not even a
ago.
rain.
He was a big prospect, but he got stopped early-ish.
Didn't he just get stopped by Jamal Hill?
So
Yeah.
his first loss was
I
in
don't like Jamal Hill
2019.
either.
Thiago Santos beat him last year, and then Jamal Hill knocked him out this year.
People had Johnny Walker going into that fight against Jamal Hill, and Jamal Hill was the underdog.
I don't think he was.
Yeah, because
I
he
think
got
he was.
his arm broken in half by Paul.
Jamal Hill's
Craig.
really
Paul Craig's
good, though.
gonna win.
Jamal Hill has a fight coming up against Thiago Santos soon. It's going to be a really good fight. Here's something interesting. Magomed Ankalaev's last 3 fights, all been against top 10 guys, all have gone to decision. Just saying.
Has he lost to anyone?
No, he hasn't lost in the
Anthony
UFC.
Smith.
He lost against Paul Craig, but he hasn't. He's on 8-fight win streak. I'm not doubting that Ankalaev is not a beast. I'm not doubting that he'll win. I'm just saying that Smith money line plus 360 is worth a fucking sprinkle. That's
Anthony
worth
Smith
$10.
is no
Easy.
stranger
$20
to the
maybe.
4th and 5th round.
Right. It's
So-
not going 5 rounds. Though. This is a 3-round fight.
Oh shit. I don't know about that.
Ankalaev versus Smith by whatever that's going to be because we don't have the odds on that yet.
What's Anthony Smith by decision?
Well, it's in 2 weeks' time, so methods aren't out yet.
See, now I think that Anthony Smith by decision
Why are you writing this so
is
slow?
worth a sprinkle.
It's
I really,
absolutely.
I wouldn't bet on Anthony Smith to win, but if he is to win, it's by decision. I think. And that number's going to be probably like +5, a little better.
So over
Plus
under,
6.
just interesting. Over under for Ortega Rodriguez is 4.5. Fight to go the distance has the same odds as over under. Usually they do it a little bit better.
No is -130. It's a great bet.
Fight not to go the distance minus 130. Yeah, I think it is, but that's too close to call. I'm not even gonna touch it. Ortega by submission plus 225. Rodriguez by TKO KO plus 380. Ooh. Ooh.
If he is going to win, it's by...
Rodriguez
KO,
by decision plus 320.
Because I don't think Rodriguez can do enough to win on points.
Ortega by decision plus 250 is super interesting to me. I'm writing that down.
Yeah, that's decent.
Write down submission, too.
Ortega
250?
250. Yeah, that's what you said. Ortega eats shots. He's
Oh,
I
he's
don't know
tough
if
as
got
shit.
it. Yeah,
He's tough as nails.
Nail, yeah.
No, you're not putting it.
225?
Yeah.
Did he ever even go to the ground with Holloway?
What do you mean? He almost
No.
submitted him.
No, it's Volkanovski.
Holloway.
No, they never went to the ground. Ortega was like 0 for 2 on takedowns in the first 2 rounds and he just stopped. Because
How
he was
long
getting
ago was that?
shit beat out of him. That was probably like a year and a half ago now.
Different fighter.
I don't know about that.
Jack
What do you
What
don't
is-
know about? He just
can-
won 5. He just won
Look
5
up-
rounds with Volkanovski.
Look up Ortega's takedown percentage, please. Please. Is it? Do you know it off the top of your head? Like, is it good?
No. I'm not. I don't know
Well, I
that
didn't know if you
fucking
knew
much.
it was good or bad.
Oh, I'm sure it's great.
Do you think?
His takedown. Oh, never mind. His
It's
takedown
bad.
accuracy is 24%.
Oh my god.
He did get 2 takedowns against Holloway. I'm wrong.
That's cool.
So he was 2 for 7 on takedowns against Holloway. He was also 2 for 5 on takedowns against Volkanovski. Fun fact. Ortega's wrestling or jiu-jitsu is obviously off the charts. No one's going to doubt that. Jack Shore by TKO plus 500. Now this fight's almost certainly going to go to a decision, but Shore could win by TKO. And I'm absolutely putting that down.
Why are you writing backwards like the Japanese?
Because I was originally just going like this, and then I need more room.
Yeah, short TKO, I like that.
Schnell.
Yeah, I don't know.
What's him?
I don't know that
What's he
person.
by decision in TKO?
Schnell by decision plus 420. Schnell by TKO plus 1200.
I'm betting the 420, bro.
I'm betting the TKO.
I'm betting the plus 420.
Yeah.
I'm betting the
Okay.
fucking TKO.
It's too enticing.
What?
Yeah, no, just plus 420, bro.
Mr.
Blaze it.
Snail. Schnell.
420 blaze it all day.
Do you think that was a sign?
Every
It's
time
about
I-
420.
It's gonna
Okay.
change. That's the thing. It's not gonna be 420 forever.
That's why we gotta go.
Schnell by TKO plus 1200 though.
That's actually wait. Is that really?
Yeah, that's really what it is.
Fight to go to distance from Misha Tate, Lauren Murphy at plus 225.
So no, not to go the distance plus 225. I think it's going the distance.
It's worth $10.
3 rounds.
It's not going to distance. Lauren Murphy sucks so much. He's gonna be eating those punches.
I think so.
Watterson
it's gonna
Lemos.
be, Misha Tate's gonna do the wrestling.
That's interesting. Watterson Lemos not to go the
Lot
distance plus 160.
better at wrestling.
She's young.
Misha Tate?
She's good looking.
No, she's old.
No, she's young. She's
Yeah, no,
35.
Misha Tate's old. Well,
Misha Tate's
yeah.
gonna be
We
like
looked her up.
40 something.
She's 35.
35's old for MMA though.
Yeah.
That's the prime there. Just
I'm very
fucking
sorry
John
to Misha
Jones'
Tate that I
age.
just said she was 40 something.
John Jones' prime was 5 years ago.
Alright, 35's old, but we just had a 40-year-old champion.
Right.
Okay.
John Jones's prime was when he was
35
coked
is
out on a
not
freeway
old.
doing
How
120.
many 35-year-olds are there in the UFC?
What?
How many 35-year-olds are there in the UFC?
I'm sure there's
A lot.
as many as there are 25-year-olds.
Well,
Like there's a lot, I'm
Who's
sure.
Conor? Connor's 32.
Exactly, that's what I mean.
Poirier's 32. I think Charles is 32. I think Gaethje's 32 also. They're all 30, like something. It's kind of when you come into your prime. Like
It's
30,
like at the end of the bell curve. It's not old, but it's definitely it's getting on there. You know,
If you're
I would
an
say once you hit
athletic
like
dude-
37, 38, that's old. But 35 is fucking close to being old.
I would say prime
Blackwoods
was
was a
like
champion
just
at
after
38,
30.
right?
What?
Blackwoods was a champion at 38?
Maybe. It might have been
What was
like that.
Teixeira? How was fucking Teixeira?
That's what I mean. 40-year-old champion. 41?
But you're talking about the only 40-year-old champion there's ever been in the UFC. I get that we are
No,
in
I'm
an
talking
age.
There's an old champion. There's a lot of old fighters now.
Yeah.
Don't
How
you think
does
there's
Yuri-
more old fighters now than there ever has been in the UFC?
Of course. Health, medical care getting better than it is. Treatments being more researched. You're going to be able to fight longer, and the more skilled fighters are going to be able to maintain it for a lot longer. I'm not doubting that. Da Un Jung. They don't have methods for this fight. That's interesting. Fight to go the distance is a push, or is a pick 'em. 115.
I do. I don't think that goes the distance.
All right. Now we just got money lines. We talked about London as much as we can, so for the pay-per-view.
Da Un Jung, Jack Shore, Shane Burgos.
Neither of them are on pay-per-view.
Oh, we're talking
I
about
would
the pay-per-view
say
now?
over
Nunes.
3 nut shots and 1 oil change.
Yeah, okay. Sure.
Isn't that funny?
Nunes? We all have Nunes in the rematch?
You're not in that group chat anymore.
No,
he's
Zach's
not.
never added me back.
All right. Over under. How many nut shots does Jordan Levitt land on Paddy Pimblett before he starts to get suspicious?
See, well, if Paddy Pimblett brings him to the ground, dude, I don't think he might be a little grabby. You know what I mean?
At what point are you just like, wait, hold up?
Hold up.
2.
Damn, I don't know. 3? 3 strikes, you're out.
If you get 2 nut shots against a guy, now I'm like, all right, what are you fucking doing? Anybody disagree with those? Nunes, Ankalaev, Pavlovich, Pantoya.
I like it.
I don't know anything about Pantoya.
Yeah,
Okay.
tell me about him.
Alexander Pantoya is a striker who, in his last fight, submitted Brandon Royval. Brandon Royval's last fight that we just saw, he submitted Matt Schnell. Alexander Pantoya is number 4 ranked. Alex Perez is number 6 ranked. Alex Perez's last fight was against Davison Figueiredo in 2020, where he got submitted in the first minute. So we haven't seen him in a while. Perez is a wrestler. Pantoya is a balanced fighter, probably more towards kickboxing. Pantoya has been much more active. He's had like 4 fights since Perez has had his last one. I just really like Pantoya. He's been on a rocket.
No one's talking
in the
about Drew
flyweight division.
Dober.
I hate Drew Dober.
I like Drew Dober. I just don't really know the guy. He's Rafael Alves. I don't really know him, so I could look into that fight a little bit more. But
Drew Dober has the most punchable face I've literally, not even
he
just
looks like
in
a
the
frat
UFC,
boy. He looks
just the
100% like a
most
frat boy.
punchable face I've ever seen.
Huh.
What?
Uh,
I thought you were looking up Alex Perez. No,
I did.
Alves.
Well, I was just saying. Oh, Rafael Alves.
What is that thing in your hand?
This is a whiteboard marker.
I thought that was
Expo marker.
vape.
No, but speaking of vapes,
You want my vape?
I do. Rafael Alves lost to Damir Ismagulov, who's now the number 15 ranked, and he beat Mark Diakis by sub in the first round, which is a good win. Huh. That's not too bad. I mean, Drew Dober had a very good win in his last fight against Terrence McKinney.
That's true.
Drew Dober's last 3 losses since 2017. This is interesting. Ready? You guys listening?
Yeah.
Yes.
Since 2017, Drew Dober's 3 losses. He is
No
7-3. He's 7-3.
Is Dariush one of them?
His 3 losses are against Benil Dariush, Islam Makhachev, and Brad Riddell.
Oh, that's a bad loss.
Yeah, those are.
It's not. Brad Riddell
Brad
had
Riddell's a bad loss.
It's not. Brad Riddell
No.
looks way worse
Brad
because
Riddell-
of the fight against Jalen Turner. Brad Riddell's next fight, I'm hammering. Brad Riddell looked terrible against Turner, admittedly, but he's a
Well,
really
you
good
gotta
fighter.
give him 2 out of 3. I mean, for fuck's sake.
When you lose to Makhachev and Dariush, those are really good fucking
Those
losses.
are top.
He did get submitted in
I'm
both of those.
picking Drew Dober, but that Brad Riddell loss is kind of like
Unanimous decision.
What was your game plan?
Unanimous decision. Dude, Brad Riddell, you gotta go back and watch some Brad Riddell fights. He's a lot better than what he looked like against Jalen Turner. A lot better. But
I brought
honestly,
up his name because I like him. I like the.
I like Drew
minus
Dober, too.
260.
I like Drew Dober too. Rafael Alves is. If Dober's number was a little less, I would probably put something on him. But it seems closer than minus 260 plus 210. But I do like Drew Dober a lot. And honestly, those are really the only ones that I'm gonna sprinkle on Anthony Smith. I'm telling you guys, I'm gonna.
It's a smart sprinkle.
I might sprinkle a little bit on Ortega. What do we
Please.
put for Ortega up here? Ortega decision plus 250. I think I like that.
I'm gonna go sub.
I mean, fuck it. You might as well just put $20 on both.
To win 20.
Yeah, either way. I mean, if he wins, you're going to be winning no matter what you do.
Wins by knockout.
Right. If Ortega wins by knockout,
yeah.
that's a statement, though. I don't see that happening because Holloway couldn't knock out Rodriguez, so I don't see Ortega knocking him out.
If Ortega wins, obviously he gets a title shot.
Is that obvious?
And if he loses
Again already?
in that title shot,
No. If Rodriguez wins, they've already said that he's next for the featherweight title. But Ortega, hasn't had a win since he beat Volkanovski. This is his first fight since he lost to Volkanovski. Excuse me. So Ortega's going to need 2 wins. I think if Ortega wins, we see Holloway Ortega too.
where do you
Down
put
the road.
Brendan Allen?
Brendan Allen, Arnold Allen.
Yeah, Allen.
That's right, Arnold Allen. He fought
Where
on the
do
last
you
London
put
card.
him?
He's not fighting on this one. Arnold Allen's up there, man.
I
He's
mean,
on a 6-fight win streak.
11 fight.
Oh, is someone else is on a 6-fight win streak? Oh, Josh Emmett was the one that's on a
Yeah.
6-fight win streak.
Yeah.
I like Arnold Allen. He's a good wrestler that knocks people out, so that's a good mix. He needs a bigger win though. Like his last 2 wins are against Dan Hooker and Sadiq Youssef. And Sadiq Youssef is better than Hooker, but both of them are like fringe top 15 guys.
See, I think of him as like a Justin Gaethje, just I don't know if he's got it.
Yeah, I want to see him go up
Maybe
against
another
it.
time.
I want to see like Arnold Allen versus Chan Sung Jung. I feel like that would be a good fight.
Yeah.
Like 2 balanced guys that'll be able to go in there and just swing wild and shit. I also want to see my boy Ilya Tuporia fight soon. Ilya Tuporia, I was hoping was going to be on this card fighting Paddy Pimblett because of the beef they had earlier in the year, but that didn't happen.
Well, Toporia's featherweight, right? And
Tuporia's featherweight, but his last fight was out lightweight.
was Paddy?
Paddy's
Panther?
lightweight.
Oh, he's lightweight.
Mm-hmm. So that's a fight I think we could see down the road.
Paddy the Bat versus Conor McGregor. Coming to London near you. Telling you.
Coming to Ireland.
Yeah, right. That would be a United Kingdom fight right there. Holy
Ooh,
shit.
Bro,
Yeah, I wouldn't.
that fucking sells. Even,
That
that
sells,
sells more
but
than
like,
Diaz, I'll tell you that.
what does Conor gain from beating Paddy?
Money.
That's a good
I think it's kind of a
Good
statement
come-up
piece.
fight.
Yeah. Especially if Paddy stays on a win streak.
Paddy the Batty versus Conor McGregor.
How about
I think-
Fiziev versus Conor?
I think Fiziev fucks up Conor.
Yeah.
No, I shouldn't even say that. I think it's kind of an even fight because Fiziev likes to stand and strike. So it depends on, where McGregor's at. Like I said, though, I don't think McGregor fights at lightweight. I really don't.
Yeah.
Like, he could. I don't know if with his $1 billion he wants to cut 20 pounds.
Yeah, let's get this
25.
straight. He does not have $1 billion.
It's fucking close.
Might have
Probably
like
like
100
500
million,
mil.
couple hundred million.
Dude, he sold his stake in Proper 12 for like $400 million. Anyway, we have an exciting 3 weeks of fights left. July is undoubtedly going to be and has been the best month of UFC so far this year. We got 3 more weeks of bets. Fight Night London is next week. That will be probably to this point our highest bet on week of UFC so far. Maybe.
Hmm?
UFC London next week will be our highest bet on week of UFC, probably.
Oh no, dude, I bet.
This year.
Oh, bro, no way.
Mm-hmm.
How much did you do? I don't know.
I didn't
No
expect
way.
you to agree to that.
I
was
don't
like,
know.
what's
No
he
way.
saying?
Terrence McKinney, baby, when he fought.
Oh
back to back.
yeah, you did. Right. I think
Yeah,
the
that
most
was a bad week.
I think the
bro.
most I've put. I mean UFC 275 because I
I'm
put
slowing down.
a lot on Prochazka by himself.
I think I'm just gonna do
So like that was probably like 7-8 units.
one parlay.
276
That's what
was
I
like
do, man.
5-6 units.
I
$100
don't, yeah.
parlay.
Gotta make it sweet.
I don't know. I think next week I'm gonna put another like 5 units down,
Fun.
combined with what I do this week.
I have 300.
So like,
So
but
I don't
yeah.
have anything right now because I am not located in the state of RI apparently.
Why do you go on?
actually,
Do
I
you
wanna
go on the
keep
app to try to do it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do not trust myself to put my card on the app. Nope, don't trust it at all. Won't do it. Once football comes around, I might do that. Once we have UFC bets and football, and I can just pick like, in a 3-week span, I can pick like 2 or 3 locks in UFC and 2 locks in football. And I have 5-team parlays that are only like plus 200, but I know it's going to hit. I'm going to be a rampage at that point. That's going to be...
Yeah, we kind of got hot around when...
Right. Last year, like September through December, we were fucking scorching. UFC, which one was it? UFC 266 was Volkanovski Ortega, and we were flawless.
Yeah.
We were 9 for 9 for fights in that card. And then 267 was Teixeira Blachowicz. We did really good in that. 268 and 269 the pod bet hit. 270 the pod bet hit, which was January, but still. Like, we killed it at the end of last year, and we are getting to the point where it seems like the luck's going to be turning around right about now.
That time of year.
And that's it, guys. Anybody have anything else?
I'm good.
No, I just... no, not really. We kind of talked about everything.
Mm.
You know, I'm probably going to stick away from underdogs for now on now. In parlays. If I'm going to bet on underdogs, I'm going to take both underdogs in a parlay. I'm not going to do that anymore. I think I've learned my lesson. And, yeah, that's about it. That's how I'm going to change my betting.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if I'm really going to change my bets. Like, I think it's just, if I feel it's going to hit, like Paul Craig plus 125.
No, I like that bet. I like
Right.
that bet. Like, I'm talking like a big underdog.
Yeah, like
a
plus
match
200s,
now.
plus
Or,
300.
You know,
Look at
like a
Anthony
plus
Smith.
170. Like, I don't know. Like,
Anthony
Car-
Smith, I'm
Perez.
not putting on any parlays.
Yeah, exactly.
No, not going to do
I
it.
feel
So
like
you
a
wouldn't-
good underdog pick though is like main events and co-main events. I feel like those are like the one like lines that like you should watch. Like Anthony Smith and then Kalaev on a main event.
Who
or,
is the
like,
last underdog to win a title?
Brendan Moreno, right?
I'll agree to that.
Jeez, that was like September
No,
of
no,
last
no, no.
year.
What the fuck are we talking?
No.
Jessica Pena.
Oh, Charles Oliveira, dude.
Jessica Pena.
Oh, it's Pena, yeah.
Fuck. I mean, that's the biggest
Juliana
fucking
Pena.
underdog ever.
Was that the last one, though? Because that was
I don't
December.
know. I'm just saying.
Was there any this year? There had to be some fucking this year, right?
Charles Oliveira?
Who's recently lost their title?
Charles Oliveira's defended the belt every time he's an underdog. Every time.
Glover? No, because Yuri was the favorite.
Yuri was the favorite for that fight.
Oh, Glover did beat
Yuri did beat Glover.
Blachowicz, and he was the underdog at
Yeah,
plus
but
200.
Pena-
Pena,
Sure,
Pena
that's
was
true.
after that. So I think you are right. I think it was Pena.
Like I was
yeah,
saying,
it
the-
was definitely Pena. Oh no, it was Esparza. Carlos Esparza. Carlos Esparza beat Nami Yunus in the world's most boring fucking title fight, and she was the underdog in that fight.
Yeah.
So last 2 underdogs to win were women fighters. I wonder if that really says anything, because the top male champions right now are all like they all have
Immovable.
multiple defenses besides Prochazka.
Who's fighting over Teixeira again? And I don't know if I'm touching that fight.
Yeah, Prochazka to share 2 has to happen, and it's gonna be a while. I think that's gonna happen next year.
Who do you take?
Prochazka. I gotta take Prochazka.
I don't know.
That line's gonna be fucking
Very
interesting
close.
though.
I
Very,
won
very,
some
very,
money.
very,
So it
very
was-
Did they say
close.
Jan Blachowicz versus Prochazka?
No, Prochazka to share.
Oh,
I think the
Call them out.
rematch
You
happened.
call them out. You called Teixeira out.
I don't know.
Listen, Teixeira was about to win that fight 4-1, and he got subbed in in the last 30 seconds. So
Kinda think-
you give that guy a rematch.
Kind of think Jan deserves it. Who did Jan beat?
Jan just beat Rakic, Alexander Rakic. He only beat him because Rakic tore his ACL.
Nah, I don't know about that.
He
I
did.
watched that.
He
No.
did. Rakic won the first round, and then arguably you could say he won the first round, but Blachowicz.
Yeah, exactly. Come on, it's an argument.
No, all 3 judges had Rakic 10-9. Like, you can't say he won the round.
All three judges. You can argue, yeah.
You can't say he won
all
the
3
round
judges.
because the round didn't end up getting decided because it got stopped. But like all 3 judges had Rakic winning the round. He had more significant strikes. Like Rakic won the fucking first round.
I don't know
And then-
about
I think Dos Anjos won the first round, or it was either the
that.
first
Dos
round or
Anjos,
second round.
yeah, physique. That was a really good back
He was
and
gonna
forth.
win the rest of the fight. I know that for
Yeah.
damn sure.
He was.
Dude, that physique was fucking tired. He got lucky.
Dude, Said
Yeah, lucky.
Nurmagomedov Saeed Nurmagomedov was a sweat.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was a fucking
That's
sweat.
true. Yeah.
All right, guys.
Okay.
That's it. Episode 104 next week, where we will go in depth in UFC Fight Night London 2. That will be a really good card. We'll be live next Thursday at 7 o'clock. Make sure you guys stay tuned for July 30th, when we have our live reaction show for UFC 277, starting at 8 p.m. all the way through the main event, which will be like 1:30. Go follow us on our Twitter. Twitter's been popping off, as it has been for the last year now, at @complete_MMA. Go to our YouTube channel. Go follow Fans Only Sports and their many social medias. And have a great day.
Yeah, more importantly, follow MMA Complete.
We're out of here.